Hi, everybody. So I have finally made it to the redwoods. Aren't they beautiful? I came out here last year, and I only spent 2 nights, and I really didn't want to leave. It's just so wonderful here. So I decided I was going to come back, and this time I am spending 4 nights. So I am excited about that. This is the first like extra long stay that I have on this trip. So, when I like drove into the woods, when I saw, that I was actually like in the woods, I felt like I could finally just relax and breathe for a moment. So, um, in fact, the first time that I saw what was easily identifiable as a redwood from my, moving vehicle, I went, "Oh, there's my babies. I love you." Yeah, because the redwoods are just, they're, there's something magical about this place. I don't know what it is. Um, but I love it so much. So, um, what has happened since the last video? Well, yesterday was just a really long driving day. The actual distance was about 8 hours of driving, but I got up and packed up my campsite and got on the road at about 7:30 in the morning, and I got in here at about 6:30 at night, just because I wanted to make sure that I was taking plenty of rest, because it seems that the thing that makes my back act up the most is sitting still. Moving around really doesn't cause me much of an issue, but when I sit still, that's when everything starts to tighten up. So I was making sure to stop every like hour and a half or so, and get out and do some stretching and walk around and that kind of stuff. For the most part, I'm okay. I was able to get my tent set up and all that kind of stuff, and um, I actually, because it was late by the time I got here and I didn't really have any provisions, I just went back into town because it's only like 10 minutes up the road, and found a Chipotle and had dinner. Um, and so Since yesterday was mostly just a driving day, I wanted to kind of spend this video talking more about like my experiences overall and feelings and things like that. One of the things that I have noticed that I get, like, when I do talk to people about this, whether it's, people back home or people that I meet on the trip, um, the same resounding thing of, "Oh, wow, you're so brave," is kind of the response I get. And it doesn't feel brave to me. It's just, I want to see the world. I grew up in the middle of an ocean of corn, and that's pretty darn boring. So, um, I want to get out and see what the world has to offer. Haven't done a lot of, overseas trips because things get pretty expensive. But doing a trip like this, it's a way that I can afford it and get out and see the world. So my advice to anybody who is considering doing something like this: save your pennies. It took me a really long time to even be able to do something like this. But don't let the fear hold you back. Go. I have dealt with, on this trip, excruciating back pain that landed me in the hospital. I have dealt with bears. I have not yet dealt with car issues. Knock on wood that doesn't happen. But I made it through. When you're by yourself and you don't have anybody else to rely on, you figure it out. And Being able to do that has really boosted my self-confidence. Not that I was, had low self-esteem or anything before, but, just having those experiences and then being able to make it through to the other side, is something that I think everybody should experience. So, pack up the car and get out there. See what the world has to offer. Um, and When it comes to this trip in particular, I think one of the things that I wanted to mention is that I'm about halfway through the trip at this point, a little more than halfway, and I feel like I have just started and done absolutely nothing yet. on one hand, and on the other hand, I feel like I have done so much when I actually think about all the places that I've stopped and all the things that I've seen and the experiences that I've had. It really has been a lot of stuff packed in. So yeah, it's one of those things that, like last year's trip, I constantly was thinking about it throughout the year. You know, all of the experiences in my day-to-day life would bring up different aspects of the trip. And not to mention, as a biology teacher, we talked about ecosystems and stuff a lot in my class. And, you know, I would bring up, well, you know, I got to see this ecosystem and here's some of the details about it. And so, you know, being able to take this experience back for my students and sort of share some of that from a firsthand perspective is really nice. Yeah. As for what I'm going to do today, it was forecasted to rain, although we've only gotten just a tiny little bit of sprinkles. So my plan was to just kind of chill for today. And maybe go into the actual park tomorrow. This place is not the campground that I was originally wanting to go to. The one that I went to last year was the campground that's in Jedediah Smith State Park, and it was phenomenal. The campsites were really well divided, and they had really nice showers, although they were coin showers that you had to pay for. And even their like porta potties were like super clean. But it was just like a really nice place to be. And so I looked it up, but unfortunately it was full. So this place is not very far from the park, and it is actually a really nice place. They also have really nice showers. They do have a laundry facility, but apparently it's like closed for maintenance, and I don't know how long that's going to be. So it's lucky that I did laundry day before yesterday and didn't rely on being able to do it here. Yeah, overall, so far, I am enjoying this trip. In a little bit, I think I'm going to head back into town because I found another one of those grocery outlets, and I'm going to get some food and things because since I have the time and the energy now, I'm going to go ahead and, like, you know, actually camp and do some camp cooking. I think I'm gonna get some marshmallows and stuff and make s'mores tonight because that sounds really good. But there are a couple of things that I wanted to show you guys while I've got you on this video. So obviously you can see the, you know, I mean, there's like a building back there, but between me and it's still pretty dense. But there are some really cool things. I'm gonna turn the camera around, and those mushrooms are pretty cool. I got a better picture of them. But one of the things that I love about the rainforest is the ferns. I mean, this fern is probably 3 feet tall and 3 to 3.5 feet wide, and it just lives there. It's just happy all the time. You know, the ferns we try to grow in our house are very sad looking compared to this when it's in its own natural environment. The other big thing that I wanted to show you guys is over here. These are some stumps of gigantic redwoods. I think there's 3 stumps here that we can see from trees that were cut down who knows how long ago. And out of the tops of them, you can see there are all kinds of things growing. I don't believe those are, no, that is some other kind of plant. That is not redwood sprouts growing out of these stumps, but the stumps are probably a good 8 feet wide. And I can just imagine the rest of the trees that used to be on top of them. So this is pretty cool to have this just right next to me as I'm camping. So yeah, gotta love the redwoods. All right, so that's all I've got for you guys today, and I will continue to update you as things happen. So
Bye.